I did the whole traditional, go to college, go make mom and dad happy, after you graduate, high school, go to college, go get that degree. And so I did so. I went to Texas State and, got a degree in agricultural business with a minor in horticulture business. And through my college career, I owned a landscaping company, which I grew and ended up selling it right after college, and then jumped into corporate America. So I jumped into medical sales here in San Antonio, did that for about 6 years, was grinding, working hard, making a lot of money. But I've always had real estate as a passion, but I never could really afford just to go straight into 100% commissions, in no base salary, no benefits, no insurance, all of that stuff, right? And so after 6 years of corporate America, I said the F with corporate America. I'm off of that hamster wheel, and I want to go be my own boss. I want to grow my own company. I don't want to I don't want to keep on working for the man. I want to be the man. And so I ended up buying several companies right after corporate America. And my last company that I sold was in 2013. I bought it in 2010, and it was a senior home care agency where we provided caregivers into the homes of the elderly, so they wouldn't have to go to an assisted living, and they could stay in their own home until things got worse, or they had to go to an assisted living or to live with a family member. So I grew that for 3 years, and I bought it as an investment. It was a franchise-owned office, and it was an underperforming franchise-owned office. And so my dad was the CFO of the whole entire organization based out of San Antonio called Caring Senior Service. And so it was my only opportunity to get out of corporate America and buy a little business for $50,000. And so I invested in this business. It was making about doing about $250,000 in gross revenue. And I had about 50 or 60 employees. And so I ended up buying it for $50,000. And in 3 years, I took it from $250,000 in annual revenue to $1.3 million, and ended up selling it for about $350,000. So I had a great return. It was a lot of fun, learned a lot, but I was burnt out of that business as well. And so while I was doing medical sales in San Antonio, I got my real estate license, and I actually started my classes in 2007, and I joined forces with a farm and ranch broker called Sheldon Growth House here in Hondo, Texas Ranch Sales. And I sold a few ranches. And then whenever I bought that business, I didn't have time to do real estate and grow this business. So I put my license inactive. And then once I sold that business, that Caring Senior Service business, one of my good friends came to me and approached me and said, "Hey, listen, I know you want to do real estate, but I've got this awesome investment opportunity for you to invest in a startup digital media marketing company called the Yokel Network here in San Antonio. We're looking for some private money. I know you've got it. You just sold your business. I think you would like this. Let's talk." And so I ended up talking with them, and my dad and I actually ended up investing in that business. But also, he was the one that introduced me to my boutique brokers that I ended up joining their firm at the end of 2013. I sold my business in September of 2013, and I ended up joining their firm in December of 2013. But through that transition of selling that business in joining that boutique brokerage firm, I was that investor. Within about 6 months, I had lost over $300,000 in that investment, and I had to make real estate work. I did not want to go back to corporate America, so I had to make real estate work. So what I started doing was doing open houses 7 days a week, my first year as a realtor, right? And so I started growing my business. My first year, I sold $3.2 million in production off of just doing open houses, free leads, because I just lost a bunch of money. I wasn't going to go and spend, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month in Zillow, Realtor.com. Truly, I didn't have the money to do that. So I had to start from the ground floor, which was doing open houses. So I did $3.2 million in production my first year. Really found my passion selling real estate. So I wanted to go to the next level. The only way for me to do that back then was to leverage myself and start a real estate sales team, right? That's what everybody says. Hey, you need to become a team leader, focus on listings, hire some buyer's agents, generate a lot of listings, put a lot of signs in the yard, and then hire some buyer's agents, filter those leads over to your buyer's agents, and start a team and do massive production. And so that's what I did, right? So my second year, we did $12.5 million in production, 61 transactions, having a lot of fun, growing, educating myself to be the best team leader that I could be for my team and for myself. In December of 2015, I got a life-changing phone call. And I know for the agents listening, you're like, wow, a life-changing phone call. How can a brokerage firm change your life? Well, let me just tell you, got that life-changing phone call to have an open mind, to take a look at a new business model that was disrupting the real estate industry and also changing the way that agents were being compensated. I said, absolutely. I have an open mind, and I had never heard of eXp Realty. Never, right? And I was like, who? eXp who? Never heard of it, right? I had that open mind, and I'm so glad that I took that meeting the next day. And I got to meet Scott Lewis, Rob Flick, and Gene Frederick. If you guys don't know those names, Google those names. Legends in the real estate industry. Helped Gary Keller grow Keller Williams for 20 plus years. Gene Frederick owned multiple franchises, multiple regions with Keller Williams. Ended up seeing this business model 7 months before I did, and ended up selling everything and launching eXp in Texas almost 6.5, almost 7 years ago. And so whenever I met them, I heard their stories. Rob Flick came out of retirement after helping Gary Keller grow Keller Williams. Scott Lewis left Keller Williams to join eXp. I said, wow, I've got to have an open mind. I've got to hear these guys out. I must hear these guys out because there is a reason why they did this to start and launch eXp in Texas. And so after 4 hours, I had an amazing meeting with them. I was blown away with the business model that they were showing me, right? We can all go sell real estate anywhere. Great companies out there, Century 21, Coldwell Banker, RE/MAX, Keller Williams, the boutique brokers, Better Homes and Gardens, Cooper Sotheby's, all great companies out there. But where can you truly, truly build wealth as a realtor and build an exit strategy for yourself and for your family? Nowhere else other than eXp, right? And I saw that, right? We can all go create our own leads and go generate our own leads. We can go get training anywhere, that we want, right? But I saw that eXp was a publicly traded company. I saw that we could attract a few agents to the business model and get compensated very handsomely for it, for our efforts for helping grow a company we're a shareholder of, right? And so I saw that and I said, I don't want to be left behind, right? I didn't have to buy a franchise. I didn't have to buy a region. I didn't have to buy a territory. $99 back then to join eXp and change my life.